didn't ask for this.
You were chosen before you were born. We waited, buried in the silence. And now, your oath begins to shatter.
No, wait.
Kael's boots crunched over shards of corrupted memory glass, each step deliberate, cautious, calculated. Around him, the shattered remains of an old data cathedral stretched upward, broken spires of neural tech, like skeletal fingers clawing at a blood-red sky. Crimson lightning pulsed above Gravemarch, veining through clouds that never moved. His pale skin glowed faintly in the gloom, the circuit-like patterns beneath it pulsing like breath. He paused at a junction where gravity had broken. Debris floated midair, frozen in collapse. Kael's eyes flickered from violet to a sharp, hungry red. He was starving, 3 days without real food, but 17 years in the lower Warren had taught him one thing: starve and survive. The Echo Zone opened up ahead, into what locals called the Bleeding Corner, a ruin-turned marketplace, where people didn't trade food, they traded memories. Kael crouched behind the twisted remains of a synth steel sign, watching. He'd been here before. He hated this place. A memory broker stood beneath a rusted scaffold, fat, smiling, with cybernetic eyes that glowed cold blue.
3 months of childhood for a week's rations,
the broker called. His voice slithered across the crowd. A woman stepped forward, shaking.
Take it all?
She whispered.
Everything before 10.
Desperate gets you standard rate.
The broker smirked.
Always does.
Kael looked away. He'd seen enough. Once, during a brutal winter, he'd nearly sold off his own memories. The cold, the hunger, it makes you forget who you are. But his guardian had stopped him.
Your memories are your anchor in the storm, little one.
She said.
Lose them, and the city won't just take your past, it'll take your soul.
Thunder rolled above, a corruption storm growing closer. Kael turned to leave, then stopped. Something called to him. A vibration, low, discordant. It wasn't part of the storm. It wasn't part of anything. Kael looked away. He'd seen enough. The woman's empty stare would follow him for days. He'd almost been her once. Years ago, during the winter blackout, when the blood markets ran dry, when the hunger blurred your name, your face, your reason to live. He remembered standing in that same line, fingers frozen, stomach twisting. But his guardian had stopped him.
Your memories are your anchor in the storm, little one. Lose them, and the city won't just take your past, it'll take your soul.
Her voice still echoed in him, even now, even though she was gone. Thunder rolled above, closer. He turned to leave, then froze. A vibration deep beneath the static hum of the Echo Zone. Low, unearthly. It wasn't part of the storm. It wasn't part of anything. Kael followed the pull lull. His boots crunched over broken stone and neural debris. The vibration grew stronger, rhythmic, alive. Behind a pile of shattered processors, the ground had split. A narrow fissure, half hidden, breathing heat. Stupid, he muttered, dropping to one knee. This is how scavengers die. He slipped inside anyway. The tunnel was tight, walls pulsing with faint code symbols, glowing green like bioluminescent veins. He moved carefully. One misstep could fry his nervous system. He'd seen it happen. A scavenger touched the wrong data stream once. His eyes never stopped screaming. The corridor spiraled downward, wrong angles folding space into itself. Then, it opened into a chamber, quiet, cold, not on any map, not part of any world Kael had known. At the center, something pulsed, half buried in crystallized memory glass. Not a machine, not a relic, not anything he could explain, and yet it waited for him. He stepped into the chamber. The walls hummed like they were breathing, alive, watching. At the center, nestled in glass, it pulsed. A small object, flickering between solid and liquid, shifting shapes, glowing veins of crimson branching beneath its surface. He crouched. What are you? The relic reacted. Its pulse quickened. The air rippled. And Kael saw himself reflected on its surface, but it wasn't him. The reflection's eyes were blood red, its expression twisted, like it knew things Kael had forgotten. Then it spoke.
Kael Veren.
The voice was layered. Male, female, machine, all at once. Last of your line, vessel of potential. Kael's breath caught. He reached out. The reflection's lips didn't move, but the words still came. We have always known. We have waited in the cracks of creation. Lightning cracked above. The ground shook. Kael touched the relic, and the world tore open.
It felt like drowning in fire and memory. The moment I touched the relic, the world didn't break. It unfolded. I saw gods I never knew, names burned into my blood, systems pulsing inside bone. The relic, it wasn't a weapon. It was a wound, and I opened it.
Oath core detected. Host Kael Veren. Lineage corrupted. Potential unstable.
What are you? What did you do to me?
We are the echo you cannot forget. We are the oath you cannot break. Your memories are your anchor in the storm, little one.
I didn't ask for this.
You were chosen before you were born. We waited, buried in the silence. And now, your oath begins to shatter.
No, wait.
Kael's body fell through darkness and landed with a shatter. Not fire, not stone, but memory glass fracturing beneath his weight like brittle thought. The relic chamber was gone. In its place, a cold corridor stretched into silence. This was the underlayer, where failed systems bled, where the city kept its secrets hidden under rot and ruin. Above, Gravemarch continued to flicker. But here, time had stopped paying attention. Kael stirred. Light glowed beneath his skin, circuitry still burning, still rewriting. Something had followed him, something that had been waiting. The oath was no longer just inside him. It was awake, and it was hunting.
The story continues. Subscribe to Echovault for episode 2.